There's a feeling that runs through you, something familiar but uncomfortable. Maybe it's the ache of longing for something that feels just out of reach. Maybe it's the sting of being misunderstood. Maybe it's the quiet, ever-present fear that you're simply not enough. You find yourself caught in this loop, cycling through relationships that end in disappointment, frustration, or emptiness. And you wonder, with every new face you meet, why does this always happen to me? You think it's the partner you're choosing, the wrong person, the wrong chemistry, the wrong timing. You think if only you could choose better, things would be different. But that's not the real problem. The problem isn't about choosing the wrong partner. The problem is that you're choosing the same patterns over and over again. You see, we don't choose partners in the way we think we do. We don't simply choose someone based on chemistry or attraction or because they're the right fit. We choose based on what we've learned to expect from love, what we're familiar with. You're not choosing the wrong partner. You're choosing the same old dynamics that you've been conditioned to believe are normal. You're choosing what feels familiar, even if that familiarity comes at the cost of your peace, your happiness, your sense of self. Why do we fall into these patterns? It's simple. Because at a deep, unconscious level, we're driven by a force more powerful than love itself. We are driven by the need to repeat the emotional experiences of our past. Whether it's the emotional highs and lows that were present in our childhoods, or the way we were taught to view relationships, we are bound by these invisible forces. You're not consciously choosing chaos or dysfunction or heartbreak, but your unconscious mind is drawn to it because it's familiar. Carl Jung called this phenomenon the return of the repressed. What you have repressed, the unresolved issues, the wounds from the past, they keep reappearing in your relationships, showing up as patterns. You end up attracting the same type of person, the same type of conflict, the same type of heartache. But it's not the person who's the problem, it's the pattern. We repeat these patterns because they give us something we recognize. They give us a sense of control, of familiarity, of safety in the chaos, even if the chaos is toxic, even if it breaks us down, even if it keeps us from experiencing true love and connection. We return to it because it's what we know. It's a cruel cycle. You meet someone new and you feel drawn to them, almost magnetically. Their presence lights a fire within you. There's chemistry, excitement, a sense of possibility. But over time, that initial glow fades. Suddenly, you're back in the same situation. You're repeating the same arguments, the same disappointments, the same feelings of rejection or neglect. You ask yourself, why is this happening again? Why can't I break free from this cycle? You're not choosing the wrong partner. You're choosing the same thing over and over again because it's comfortable. The unconscious mind seeks out what it knows. And until you break the cycle, until you truly understand what's happening beneath the surface, you'll continue to choose partners that reflect the unresolved emotional patterns of your past. Here's where the power lies. You can break the cycle. You can choose differently, but only if you're willing to confront the hidden forces that are driving you. Only if you're willing to look at the deeper reasons behind your choices and patterns. Because once you see them, you can change them. You can choose not just a partner who feels familiar, but a partner who aligns with your true desires, your authentic self. It begins with understanding the role of the unconscious in your choices. We often think we choose partners based on conscious, rational decisions, but the reality is much more complicated. We are unconsciously drawn to people who reflect the dynamics we experienced in our early relationships, particularly with our parents. If you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, you might find yourself attracted to partners who are emotionally distant or unpredictable. If you grew up with a parent who was overly controlling or critical, you might find yourself drawn to people who carry that same energy, even if they don't look like the original source. This dynamic, this need to recreate what we've known, often happens without us even realizing it. We don't consciously choose drama. We choose what feels familiar. And that familiarity comes with an emotional price. You may find yourself subconsciously repeating these cycles because, in a strange way, they offer a sense of emotional security, as twisted as that may sound. The chaos you're used to, the dysfunction you've internalized, becomes your comfort zone. It's the prison you've built for yourself, but you've come to think of it as home. So what do? How do you break free? The first step is awareness. You have to become aware of the pattern. You have to see it for what it is, the echo of your past playing out in your present. The moment you realize that your choices are being influenced by unconscious forces is the moment you can start to take control. The second step is confronting the emotional wounds you've been avoiding. We often think we can outrun our pain by burying it, but that only makes it stronger. Your emotional wounds will continue to show up in your relationships until you address them. If you grew up with a parent who was emotionally unavailable, it's not enough to just say you want a different type of partner. You have to confront the deeper pain of that wound. You have to heal it so that it no longer drives your choices. This isn't about blaming your parents or anyone else for that matter. This is about understanding that your past experiences have shaped your perceptions and choices. This is about reclaiming your power to choose, to break free from the emotional conditioning that has kept you stuck. You must start by taking responsibility for your own healing. You are the only one who can break the cycle. Once you have that awareness, once you've begun to heal the wounds of your past, you can start to change the way you choose. You will no longer be drawn to partners who reflect the same old emotional patterns. You will start to choose relationships that align with your authentic self, relationships that nourish and support you, rather than drain and deplete you. But breaking the cycle isn't easy. It requires courage. Courage to step into the unknown, courage to face the emotional discomfort that comes with change, and courage to break free from the patterns that have shaped your life. It means being willing to let go of what feels familiar, even when it's painful, and allowing yourself to embrace a new way of being. Here's the beautiful part. When you break free from these unconscious patterns, you open yourself up to real, authentic love. Love that isn't defined by chaos or dysfunction, but love that is built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. You will begin to attract partners who match your new, healthier patterns, partners who align with who you are becoming, not who you've been. It's not easy, but it's worth it. The moment you choose to break the cycle, you will see your life begin to shift. You will feel a sense of freedom, of empowerment that comes with knowing you are no longer bound by the emotional patterns of your past. You are free to choose a partner who aligns with your true desires, who supports your growth, who meets you at your highest potential. So stop choosing the same old patterns. Stop choosing what's familiar out of fear, out of comfort, out of unconscious habit. Choose the life you were meant to live, a life full of love, peace, and authenticity. You're not choosing the wrong partner. You're choosing the wrong patterns. And now that you see them, you have the power to choose differently. Choose wisely. Choose love that aligns with your highest self. Choose freedom. Choose a new story, the one you are meant to live. It's easy to look at your past relationships and feel frustrated, even defeated, to believe that there's some invisible force out there that controls your choices, that makes you magnetically drawn to the wrong people. It feels like the universe is conspiring against you, and you're just stuck in this endless cycle of pain and disappointment. But the truth is, the universe is not conspiring against you. It's reflecting you back to yourself. What you see in others, what you're drawn to, is often an unconscious mirror of the parts of yourself you haven't yet healed, the parts of you that are still seeking something unresolved. Your choices aren't random. They are the product of deep emotional patterns that have been embedded within you for years, sometimes even for generations. They are the subconscious forces that are guiding you, not by choice, but by compulsion. And here's the uncomfortable truth that many of us don't want to face. You are the one who keeps choosing these patterns. It's not the world outside that's forcing you into these relationships. It's your own mind, your own history, your own wounds. You are choosing what feels familiar, not what feels right. You are choosing what your emotional body has become conditioned to accept as love, even if it's love that harms you, that drains you, or that keeps you stuck in a cycle of heartache. This is not about blaming yourself. This is about understanding that these patterns, these unconscious decisions, have been handed down to you. Maybe it's the blueprint of your parents' relationship, the way they loved or didn't love. Maybe it's the trauma you experienced in your childhood, the things you were told, the things you witnessed, that shaped the way you view connection. Perhaps it's the unresolved pain from past relationships that still lingers in your psyche, calling you back to the same unhealed emotional wounds. But here's the liberating truth. Once you see the pattern, you can change it. Once you can identify the unconscious forces that have been running your life, you can choose to step out of the matrix of dysfunction. You can choose differently. But it takes radical honesty with yourself. It takes the willingness to face the uncomfortable, sometimes painful truth about why you've made the choices you've made. The question you have to ask yourself is not, why do I keep choosing the wrong partner? But rather, why am I choosing what's familiar instead of what's healthy? What is it about the familiar that pulls you in? Why does it feel so right, even when it's wrong? The answer lies in the comfort of the known, even when the known is painful, even when it's toxic, even when it brings you heartbreak. There is a part of you that feels safer in the familiar. The unconscious mind doesn't care about your happiness. It cares about survival. And for your unconscious mind, survival means staying in the same emotional patterns, even if they are destructive, because that's what it has known. Your psyche doesn't differentiate between healthy love and unhealthy love. It only knows the emotional signature of what you have experienced before. If you grew up in an environment where love was inconsistent, unpredictable, or conditional, you may find yourself drawn to relationships that mirror those same emotional highs and lows. The chaos feels normal, even though it's damaging. You might even find that deep down you've learned to crave it not because you consciously desire chaos, but because it feels like home. This doesn't mean you're broken. It means you are human. You've been shaped by the environment you grew up in, by the relationships you witnessed, by the pain you endured, but now you have the power to reshape your future. You can start by understanding that the emotional patterns you are drawn to are not your destiny. They are simply habits, emotional habits that can be undone, reshaped, and replaced with healthier dynamics. But you cannot change what you refuse to see. The first step is facing the pattern head on, acknowledging that these unconscious forces are at play, and then making the decision to step out of the old story. To do that, you must start with a different question. What do I really want from a partner? Not from the mind, but from the heart, from the soul. What is it that would truly nourish you, that would make you feel seen, heard, and appreciated? This question requires a deeper level of introspection, a level of vulnerability that most people aren't willing to face. We are often so focused on the surface, on chemistry, attraction, the highs of infatuation, that we miss the deeper question. Can this person truly meet me where I am? Can they support my growth, my healing, and my dreams? Healthy love isn't based on familiarity. It's based on alignment. Alignment with your values, your goals, your vision of the future. It's about finding someone who not only loves you, but sees you for who you truly are. It's about creating a partnership where you both can flourish, not because you are fixing each other, but because you are growing together. And to do that, you must first grow yourself. You must heal the wounds that have been carried from the past. You must learn to give yourself the love, support, and care that you've been seeking in others. The moment you start loving yourself unconditionally, you stop attracting partners who reflect your unhealed wounds. You begin to attract partners who reflect the healthy, whole version of you. This process of self-growth, of healing, requires you to confront the emotional baggage you've been carrying, the expectations, the judgments, the old beliefs about love that no longer serve you. It's time to release the idea that love is supposed to be hard, that it's supposed to be filled with drama and struggle. True love is peace. True love is ease. True love is mutual respect and care. When you begin to make these shifts within yourself, you will see the world around you shift as well. The patterns you once repeated will no longer feel familiar. The old toxic dynamics will lose their grip on you, and you will find yourself drawn to relationships that are healthier, more supportive, and more aligned with who you are becoming. And when you meet that person, the one who truly sees you, who truly values you, you will know that this is the kind of love you were meant for. It won't be perfect, but it will be real. It will be grounded in the present, not in the echoes of the past. It will be love that nurtures you rather than drains you. So take a moment to reflect on this. You are not stuck in a cycle of bad choices. You are choosing what you know, what feels familiar, what your unconscious mind has been conditioned to accept. But now that you know, now that you see the pattern, you have the power to change it. You can choose a partner who aligns with your highest self, a partner who will grow with you, not pull you back into the same old emotional drama. You can choose love that is healthy, that is authentic, that supports your growth. But first, you must choose to break free from the unconscious patterns of the past. Choose to heal, choose to grow, choose love that reflects who you truly are, not who you've been conditioned to be. The moment you choose yourself, you choose the life you've been waiting for. And that is when you will attract the partner who truly aligns with your soul. That is when you will finally experience love as it was meant to be, free, pure, and unburdened by the ghosts of your past. At the core of human behavior, beneath the surface of our daily decisions and actions, there lies a universal truth. We are all running from something, even when we think we are chasing something. It's not always obvious. In fact, it's often concealed under the glossy surface of our desires and needs. But it's there, pulling the strings. We are constantly running from unresolved emotions, from the ghosts of the past, from the patterns we haven't yet healed. And these are the very things that determine the partners we choose. It's a paradox, isn't it? We think we're seeking love, connection, companionship, but at the deepest level, we're often seeking familiarity, the emotional comfort of what we know, even if what we know is toxic or destructive. We run toward the patterns we've been conditioned to repeat, not the love we truly deserve. When you're drawn to a partner who seems to push your emotional buttons, someone who is unpredictable or distant, someone who mirrors your own unresolved issues, understand this. You are not choosing them, you are choosing the pattern. You are unconsciously choosing the emotional terrain that feels like home, even if it's a home built on conflict, hurt, or abandonment. You're not chasing real love. You're chasing the emotional signature of your past. This is where things get complicated. The familiar feels like safety, even when it's unsafe. The uncertainty of something new, something healthy, stable, and nurturing feels uncomfortable, foreign, almost like a threat. It's not that you don't want peace or love or joy. It's that peace feels foreign to you. The chaos of your emotional history has become the emotional rhythm you've learned to dance to. You've become so attuned to it that it's hard to imagine life without it. But that's the trap. The trap is believing that what you feel is familiar is also right. You convince yourself that if the relationship feels intense, if it's filled with highs and lows, if it's a roller coaster of passion and pain, it must be real. Because that's what love felt like for you growing up, erratic, unstable, unpredictable. And the more it reflects that, the more you're pulled into it. But deep down, you know that love isn't supposed to feel like chaos. True love isn't about drama. True love isn't about constant conflict. True love is a mirror of the peace you've cultivated within yourself. But until you confront the patterns that govern your choices, until you start healing the wounds of your past, you will continue to repeat the same emotional cycles. The same patterns will show up again and again, disguised in new faces, new situations. But the underlying dynamics will remain the same. You'll keep choosing the familiar pain because that's all your unconscious mind knows. It's what you've been taught to expect. This is why the answer isn't just about finding a better partner. or waiting for the one. It's about something deeper. You have to become the one who chooses differently. You have to become the one who recognizes the patterns, who sees them for what they are, and who is willing to step away from the emotional habit of familiarity. You have to recondition your mind and your heart to seek love that is peaceful, balanced, and grounded, not love that is chaotic, painful, and consuming. Breaking free from these patterns means stepping outside of what you've known, embracing a discomfort that comes with growth. It means recognizing that growth feels awkward. Real love feels unfamiliar at first. But that discomfort is a sign of change, a sign that you are finally moving away from the emotional scripts you've been handed and toward a new narrative, one that is healthy, whole, and authentic. To do that, you must learn to cultivate emotional awareness. Start by noticing the patterns. Recognize when you're being drawn to a familiar type of person, someone who triggers old wounds or offers the illusion of love that feels familiar but isn't actually healthy. Ask yourself, what is this person triggering in me? What old emotional need am I unconsciously trying to fulfill? And then ask yourself, do I really want to live this pattern out again? The power lies in breaking the cycle, in recognizing that you don't have to live out the same emotional dramas over and over again. You don't have to continue reliving the hurt, the abandonment, or the neglect that was modeled for you. You don't have to keep seeking partners who replicate those feelings, no matter how compelling or magnetic they may seem in the moment. This is where real transformation begins, in your willingness to sit with the discomfort of something new. When you begin to choose differently, when you start to choose the partner who brings you peace, who reflects your worth and your values, you will notice a shift. You'll begin to feel the difference between emotional chaos and emotional harmony. You'll begin to see that love doesn't have to be difficult or painful. It can be fluid, nourishing, and deeply fulfilling. But this shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires that you unlearn what you've been taught about love, about relationships, about what it means to be loved. It requires that you embrace a new truth. You are worthy of love that nurtures you, love that sees you, love that respects you. And that love starts with you. You must begin by loving yourself in a way that you never have before, in a way that no past relationship, no parent, no partner ever showed you. You must become the source of your own healing. It is only when you begin to heal yourself, when you begin to value yourself, when you begin to fully own your worth, that you will stop tolerating the dynamics that drain you. When you love yourself enough, when you truly believe you deserve better, you will stop settling for what feels familiar and start reaching for what feels real. The moment you heal, the moment you choose differently, the moment you step outside of your emotional comfort zone, everything begins to change. You stop choosing patterns and start choosing possibilities. You stop seeking the love that keeps you in conflict and start seeking the love that mirrors your highest self. And that's when you will attract a partner who reflects that same growth, that same healing, and that same vibrational energy. But this is a choice that requires commitment. It's not about finding the perfect person. It's about becoming the person who can give and receive authentic, transformative love. It's about embracing your journey of healing, your journey of growth, and becoming someone who no longer needs to settle for the same painful patterns. The life you want, the love you want, is already out there. It's just waiting for you to choose it. The moment you break the cycle, you unlock the door to something new, something real, something that will reflect the depth of who you are becoming. And that's when you'll truly understand you are not defined by your past choices. You are defined by your future decisions. So break free from the patterns. Break free from the need for what's familiar. Step into the unknown, step into the love that you've always deserved, and step into a life that is yours to create. The power is within you. Choose differently. Choose yourself. Choose love. You've spent so much of your life chasing after love, seeking connection, desiring a partner who can finally give you the sense of wholeness you've always craved. And yet, time after time, you find yourself falling into the same emotional traps, into relationships that bring you more heartache than fulfillment, more chaos than peace. You've wondered why you keep choosing the wrong person, why your relationships seem to repeat the same painful patterns, no matter how hard you try to break free. But now you know the truth. You're not choosing the wrong partner. You're choosing the familiar patterns that you've learned to expect from love. You've been unconsciously drawn to what feels familiar, to the emotional dynamics that your mind recognizes, even if they bring pain. You've been choosing what your past has taught you to expect, instead of what you truly need, want, and deserve. It's time to let go of the patterns. It's time to choose the love that reflects who you are, not the love that reflects who you've been. It's time to stop settling for what's familiar, for what your past has conditioned you to think is normal. It's time to choose peace, to choose authenticity, to choose a love that allows you to flourish. This is where your power lies. The moment you realize that your choices are shaped by unconscious patterns, you reclaim your ability to choose differently. You don't have to keep repeating the same emotional drama, the same toxic cycles. You have the power to rewrite your love story. You can step out of the prison of your past and embrace the future that aligns with the healthiest, most authentic version of yourself. It starts with healing. Heal the wounds that have been festering, the beliefs that have been ingrained in you, and the emotional baggage you've carried for far too long. Begin with self-love truly, deeply, unapologetically loving yourself. When you value yourself enough, when you see your worth for what it truly is, you will stop tolerating relationships that don't align with that worth. You will stop choosing partners who reflect your wounds and start attracting the ones who reflect your healing. And when you do, you will find that love doesn't have to be a battlefield. It doesn't have to be about winning or losing or fixing someone else's pain. It doesn't have to be complicated or chaotic. True love is built on mutual respect, understanding, and a shared commitment to growth. True love doesn't drain you, it nourishes you. It gives you space to be who you truly are, without the need for masks, without the need to prove anything. You are no longer bound by the emotional habits of your past. You are free to choose a partner who truly aligns with your soul, someone who meets you at your highest potential. You can break the cycle. You can choose love that is stable, nurturing, and aligned with the future you want to create. But this takes courage. It takes the courage to break away from the familiar, to stop chasing the emotional chaos you've been conditioned to crave, to step into a new kind of love, one that brings peace, stability, and growth. The love you deserve is not the love that feels chaotic and draining. It is the love that makes you feel safe, seen, and supported. So, as you move forward, choose to release the past, choose to release the patterns, choose to choose differently. The moment you break free from the old patterns, you'll realize that the love you've been searching for was never out of reach. It was simply waiting for you to step into your own power and choose it for yourself. The moment you choose to love yourself fully, you'll see that the love you've been waiting for has been waiting for you too. Now go, step into the love you deserve. Step into the future that is waiting for you. The life you want is out there, and it begins the moment you choose yourself and choose love that reflects the truth of who you are. You are not defined by your past choices. You are defined by the choices you make from this moment on. So choose wisely, choose consciously, and choose the love that will truly transform your life. You are worthy. You are ready. Now choose the love that's yours to create.